Hello, good day. Once again, this is Engineer Marcus from marcusaustria.com. Easy engineering, learn engineering the easy way. I'll make it easy for you. Okay, guys, keep learning, so keep on watching. Okay, theorems on limits. Mhm. So, theorem number one, the limit of k as x approaches a is k, where k is any constant. Okay, theorem number two, the limit of x as x approaches a is a, where a is any real number. Okay, okay, real number. Then theorem number three, the limit of k multiplied by u of x, or any constant multiplied to a function as x approaches a is equal to k times the limit of that function u of x as x approaches a. Okay, theorem number four, the limit of u of x plus another function b of x as x approaches a is equal to the sum of their limits. Okay, limit of u of x as x approaches a plus the limit of v of x as x approaches a. Okay, then theorem number five, the limit of u of x multiplied by another function b of x as x approaches a is equal to the product of their limits. So that is limit of u of x as x approaches a multiplied by the limit of v of x as x approaches a. Okay? Theorem number 6. So kung meron tayong sum and product, meron din tayong quotient. The limit of u of x over v of x as x approaches a is equal to the quotient of their limits. Okay, the limit of u of x as x approaches a over the limit of v of x as x approaches a, provided that the limit of v of x as x approaches a is not equal to 0. Okay? Then theorem number 7, the limit of the nth root of the function u of x as x approaches a is equal to the nth root of the limit of the function u of x as x approaches a. Okay, where n is any positive integer. Okay, n is any positive integer. Okay, and then theorem number 8. So we have here the limit of the function u of x raised to n, okay, as x approaches a is equal to the limit of u of x as x approaches a raised to n. And theorem number 9 is the limit of 1 over x as x approaches infinity equals 0. And one more. Theorem number 10. Okay. The limit of sine theta as sine theta over theta as theta approaches 0 is equal to 1. Okay. Theta is measured in radians. Theta in radians. Oh, is in radians. Okay, so we have several theorems. In our lecture or this topic, we have 10 theorems. Theorem 1 to 10. So, makakatulong to sa pag-solve natin ng mga problems. Okay? So, example tayo. Example number 1. Okay, evaluate the limit of x squared plus 2x minus 4 as x approaches 4. Okay? For the solution, again, copy muna natin, ano? So, the limit of x squared plus 2x minus 4 as x approaches 4. Okay? Tingnan muna natin itong function natin. That is x squared plus 2x minus 4. So, ito ay sum, no? So, theorem number 4. Yung sum ng mga, the limit, no? Sum ng mga ito. Kailangan natin siyang i-expand para makita natin yung theorem number 4. So, that is the limit of x squared as x approaches 4. Okay? Sum of their limits, yun sabi sa theorem number 4. So, plus the limit of 2x as x approaches 4. And the limit, or plus the limit of negative 4 as x approaches 4. Okay? Then, this is equal to, ito naman, this limit of x squared as x approaches 4. This is theorem number 8. Yung merong exponent na niraise sa n, ano? So, pwede natin siyang isulat like this. The limit of x as x approaches 4 raised to n. So, in this case, raised to 2. Yun. Then, this one, the limit of 2x as x approaches 4 is theorem number 3. So, meron kang constant. So, ilabas natin ngayon yung constant which is 2. Then, this is the limit of x as x approaches 4. Plus, okay, plus theorem number 1. Yeah, number 1. Constant, no? Okay. So, constant, the limit of the constant is yung k din. So, limit of k as x approaches a is k. So in this case, the k is negative 4. So plus negative 4. Okay? Plus negative 4 or negative or minus 4 here. Yan. Then, we solve. What is the limit of x as x approaches 4? This is theorem number 2. No? Number 2. So we substitute this to x. So we have 4. Then, we raise this to 2. Ayun, may 2. Plus 2 times the limit of x as x approaches 4 is 4. Minus 4. Okay, 4 square is 16. Plus 2 times 4 is 8. Minus 4. So we have here 16 plus 8, 24. Minus 4, 20. Okay? 24 minus 4 is 20. So this is your answer. The limit of x squared plus 2x minus 4 as x approaches 4 is 20. Okay? So, I think naintindihan nyo naman ito. Madali lang ang steps. Okay, so sunod na problem. Okay. By the way, yung mga good references natin no, sa differential calculus. Yung Love and Rainville. Yan, pwede nyo gamitin yan. Differential and integral calculus. Okay. 6th edition. Kung may bago pa, no? Kung may mada-download kayo mga books, okay? Or e-books. Or pwede rin kayong bumili sa mga bookstore. Okay? Meron pang isa, yung Differential and Integral Calculus by Feliciano and Uy. Yan, magagandang mga references yan, no? Okay? Problem number 2 tayo. Problem number 2 or example number 2. Example number 2. Okay, let's evaluate this limit. The limit of x plus 4 times the square root of 2x plus 5. Okay, evaluate this as x approaches 2. Okay, for your solution, again, mas maganda, kopyahin na muna, no? Pero kung sa board exam, diretso na to sa calculator. Okay, pero kung nandun ka sa school, mga university, yung mga professor natin, gusto nila may solution, no? Pero, syempre, kung board exam nga ang usapan, pwede na yung walang solution, diretso na. Pero kailangan naintindihan mo yung concept ng limit. Okay? So, that's 2x plus 5. Okay, kung titingnan mo to, no? Product ito. This is theorem number, I think number 5, no? Product of their limits or the limit of the product of two or more functions is the product of their limits. So, pwede mo siyang paghiwalayan, no? Parang ganito. So, this is equal to the limit of x plus 4, okay, as x approaches 2 times, okay, times or multiplied by the limit of the square root of 2x plus 5 as x approaches 2. There. Okay? Ito naman, this limit of x plus 4 as x approaches 2, sum ito. Sum ng two functions. So, pwede rin siya like this. The limit of x as x approaches 2 plus the limit of 4 as x approaches 2. Okay? Multiplied by, so ito naman ay theorem number, yung merong square root or merong root. Okay? Theorem number 7. Okay? So, ang gagawin dito, ipapasok naman yung limit sa loob. So, like this. So, we have multiplied by the square root of the limit of 2x plus 5 as x approaches 2. Ito, step by step yung ginagawa natin, ano? Okay? O, syempre, may mga shortcut yan. So, limit of x as x approaches 2. So, we substitute the 2 to the x, 2x, no? So, we have here 2. Okay? Then, the limit of k is k. So, that is plus 4. Okay? Times. Okay? Times. Ito, yung radicand natin, the limit of 2x plus 5 as x approaches 2. Ito ay sum. No? So, pwede rin siyang i-expand ulit natin. No? So, we have here the limit of 2x as x approaches 2 plus the limit of x as x approaches, or limit of 5. Limit of 5 as x approaches 2. There. Then 2 plus 4 is 6 multiplied by, ito naman, limit of 2x as x approaches 2 is a constant in the function, no? So we have here 2 times the limit of x as x approaches 2. And the limit of constant is k, or limit of k is k. So we have here plus 5. Then, equals 6 times the square root of 2 times the limit of x as x approaches 2. So plug in the 2 to x. So we have 2 here. Plus 5 equals 6 times the square root of 4 plus 5, 9. Equals, dito, 6 square root of 9 is 3. So your final answer is 18. Okay? So that is the limit of this. Limit of x plus 4 times 2x plus 5 as x, or square root of 2x plus 5 as x approaches 2. So ito lang ipinakita step by step paano ba gamitin yung mga theorems, no? Pero syempre, pwede yan ng diretso nating i-substitute. Okay, ganito ha. Magpalit lang ako ng color ng brush, ng pen. Okay. Let's try blue. Okay. Gamitin natin blue. Okay. Here. From the limit of x plus 4 times the square root of 2x plus 5 as x approaches 2, here, pwede yan ng, lagyan natin ito, equal to, just plug in the 2 dun sa mga x. So 2 plus 4 times the square root of 2. May x, so times 2 plus 5 equals 6 times square root of 9. And that is also 18, no? Square root of 9 is 3 times 6, 18. So, same answer. So, para lang may demonstrate natin, ipakita yung mga theorems. Okay? So, parehas lang ng answer. Okay, let's have another one. Example number 3. Okay? Palitan ko lang ulit yung color ng pen. Gawin natin sa black ulit. Okay? Sorry, white pala. White pala yung gamit natin. Okay. Color. White. Okay. So, number 3. Okay. Example number 3. This is from Love and Rainville. Evaluate. Okay. Evaluate a limit of 2t square plus 1 over t squared plus 3t minus 4 as t approaches 0. So for your solution, you have here limit of 2t squared plus 1 all over t squared plus 3t minus 4 as t approaches 0. Okay, make it a habit, no? Yung parang sinusulat mo muna yung problem. Okay? Mas maganda kasi yung solution mo, no? Para systematic din ang dating. Okay, so let's evaluate this. So ito ay, kung titingnan mo, quotient naman to. Limit of quotient of two functions. Ang sabi natin, the limit of the quotient of two functions is the quotient of their limits. So, ibig sabihin pala, yung numerator and denominator natin, no? The limit of 2t squared plus 1 as t approaches 0 all over the limit of, natin ng parenthesis, no? T squared plus 3t minus 4 as t approaches 0. So, ganyan yan isulat. Now, itong numerator natin, yung 2t squared plus 1. So, yung 2t squared, kung mapapansin mo ito, ay sum, 2t squared plus 1. So, pwede mo rin siyang expand, no? Like this, para ma-apply natin yung mga theorems. So, that is the limit of 2t squared as t approach 0 plus limit of 1 as t approach 0. Okay? Then, all over, ito, sum din. So, the limit of t squared as t approaches 0 plus the limit of 3t as t approaches 0 and plus the limit of negative 4 as t approaches 0. Okay? Medyo matrabaho lang, no? Pero okay lang yan sa una para maintindihan natin mabuti yung mga theorems. Okay, going back, equals. So, ito, limit of 2t squared, ito yung merong constant, no? Times another function. So, pwede rin siya like this. So, the limit of t squared, so yung constant ilalabas natin. So, like this, 2 as t approaches 0. Okay? Plus, what is the limit of a constant? So, limit of 1 is 1. Yung k, limit of k as x approaches 0 is k. Or the limit of k as, ano ba example natin? Limit of k as x approaches a, no? Is k. So, limit of a constant is a constant. Kung k, k. Kung c, c, no? In this case, limit of 1 as t approaches 0 is 1. Kasi wala ka naman pagsasubstitutan ng t, no? Okay. All over, ito naman yung may power, no? So, ang ginagawa natin dyan, the limit of t as t approaches 0, then raised to power 2. Then, ito, constant and function ulit. So, labas yung constant, limit of 3, or t, limit of t, as t approaches 0. Okay? Limit of k equals k. So, ito, ang k natin is negative 4, so minus 4. There you go. Then, yung numerator ulit, 2 limit of t squared. So, ito ay may raised to n. So, pwede rin siya like this, no? 2 times the limit of t as t approach 0 raised to 2 plus 1. Then, this one, the limit of t as t approaches 0 is 0. Okay? Then, square. Plus 3 times the limit of t as t approaches 0 is 0. Minus 4. Okay? So, equals, dito na lang, equals 2 times the limit of t as t approaches 0. Substitute the value, 0 to t. So, we have 0. Pwede mo pang isulat, no? I-square mo pa kung gusto mo. Plus 1. Then 0 plus 0. O, lagay na rin natin. 0 plus 0 minus 4. So, this is equal to plus or 1 over negative 4 or minus 1 over 4. So, this is your final answer. So, negative 1/4 is the limit of this, no? Limit of 2t squared plus 1 equals limit of 2t squared plus 1 all over t squared plus 3t minus 4 as t approaches 0. Ang haba ng solution. Pero again, para makita nyo yung paano gamitin yung mga theorems. Pero pwede rin naman yan ng diretso na lang ng substitute. Okay, substitute natin. I'll change the color of my pen to blue. Okay. Okay. So here, this one, the limit of 2t squared plus 1 all over t squared plus 3t minus 4. Okay, ulitin natin. Yung over. Okay. Over t squared plus 3t minus 4 as t approaches 0. So, that is equal to, pwede to, diretso na lang substitution. Okay? 2 times t squared. Okay? Ang t is 0. 0 squared plus 1. All over 0 squared plus 3 times 0 minus 4. So, ito, 0, 0, 0. Ang answer mo is negative 1 over 4. Okay? So, this is your answer. Parehas lang, negative 1 over 4. So, ibig sabihin, tama yung mga theorems natin. Kasi tama yung ating answer. Okay? 1/4, negative 1/4, pareho. Okay? So, another example. Yung theorem number 9, 1 over x, the limit of 1 over x as x approaches infinity is 0. Okay? Sample. Palit-ulit tayo ng color ng pen. To white. Okay, problem number 4 or example number 4. Example number 4. So let's say, evaluate this, no? Limit of 1 over x cubed as x approaches infinity. So ganito isulat yung infinity, no? Parang 8 na nakahiga. Okay, equals something, no? Tanong natin, yan, evaluate natin yan. So, yung kanina, sa theorem number 9, we have here the limit of 1 over x as x approaches infinity. Ang sabi natin, this is equal to 0, no? Yan. The limit of 1 over x as x approaches infinity is 0. So, bakit 0? Kasi kung titingnan mo, 1 divided by x, habang lumalaki yung value ng x, nag-a-approach ka sa value ng 0. So, ibig sabihin, habang yung x mo lumalaki, approaching infinity, yung value limit ngayon ng 1 over x, say 1 over large number, lumalapit din sa 0. Example, let's say x is 10. Ito dito, limit of 1 over x. Say 10 yung x mo. So, that is 0.1, no? Kung 100, 0.01. Kung 1,000, that's 0.001. Kung ito ay sobrang laki ng value, let's say 1 million, 1 over 1 million, 0.00 something, hanggang dulo, 1. Ngayon, habang lumalaki yung value approaching infinity, lumalapit din naman yung limit of 1 over x sa 0. Kaya pwede itong sabihin that limit of 1 over x as x approaches infinity is 0. Okay, going back to this problem, the limit of 1 over x cubed. Parehas lang din to. Imagine, yung value ng x, kinube mo pa. Times 3 pa niya, no? 3 times ng kanyang itself, no? 3 times itself. So, x times x times x. Eh, kung dito nga sa 1 over x, nagsisiro na siya kung x is approaching infinity. Dito pa. Diba? Nilakihan mo pa. Niraise mo pa siya sa power. So, ang gawin lang natin dito for your solution, no? The limit of 1 over x cubed as x approaches infinity. okay, infinity, is equal to, ang gawin natin dito, the limit of 1 over x multiplied by 1 over x multiplied by 1 over x. Okay? As x approaches infinity. Then, kung makita mo, ito ay product na, no? So, kung product yan, pwede rin niyang isa-isa, no? O limit of 1 over x as x approaches infinity multiplied by the limit of 1 over x as x approaches infinity and the limit of 1 over x as x approaches infinity. And sabi sa ating theorem number 9 that the limit of 1 over x as x approaching infinity is 0. So we can say that this is 0. And this is 0 also. And 0. 0 times 0 times 0 is 0. Okay? So this is your answer. And what if 1 over x raised to 100? So anong gagawin mo? Ganito rin. 1 over x times 1 over x times up to 100. Kapagod yan, ano? So, yun na lang. Dito pa lang, 1 over x as x approaching infinity, erase mo pa yung x mo, no? 1 over x cube. 0 na yan. 0 na yan. So, ito na yung magiging proof din natin dyan. Kasi ganun din papahabain mo lang. Okay? So, I hope naintindihan niyo yan. So, let's try yung theorem number 10, no? Yung theorem number 10 is the limit of sine theta over theta as theta approaches 0 is equal to 1. Okay. So mamaya tingnan natin kung saan galing to. Bakit siya 1, ano? Tingnan natin. But first, solve natin. Ang kailangan lang tandaan, itong sine theta over theta, kung yung theta is, ang coefficient lang niya dito is 1, say 1 theta, ito naman sa baba, dapat 1 din. Dapat parehas sila. Okay, dito. Example, halimbawa. Evaluate sine 5 theta over theta as theta approaches 0. So, ano yan? Paano ngayon to? Kung mapapansin mo, yung theta may katabi na 5. Yung sa denominator na theta, wala siyang 5 na kasama. So, kailangan magkatulad sila. Okay? So, mag-introduce tayo ng number. Okay? So, dito, copying ko lang muna ulit. The limit of sine 5 theta over theta as theta approaches 0 is equal to, again, nasabi ko, dapat magkatulad sila. So, if I'm going to introduce a number, say 5, okay lang over 5. 5 over 5 is 1. O, walang nabago dyan. Times sine 5, sine 5 theta over theta. Okay? 5 over 5 is 1. Walang nabago dito sa ating problem. So, dito, theta approaches 0. Pero, kung makikita mo, ito, yan, that is sine 5 theta over 5 theta. So, ibig sabihin, ito may kasama, magiging 5 theta, ito 5 theta na rin. So, parang ito na siya, yung ating theorem. The sine theta over theta is 1. Okay, so ito pala, the limit of this sine 5 theta over 5 theta is 1. So, kung makita mo, ito ngayon ay may 5 ka constant, no? So, that is theorem number, I think number 3. Yung may constant, no? Let's see. Theorem number 3. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, ito, pwede mong ilabas yung 5. Then, the limit of sine 5 theta. Okay, over 5 theta. As theta approaches 0. Ito ngayon is 1. So, the limit of sine 5 theta over theta as theta approaches 0 is equal to 5. This is your answer. Okay, last two problems or examples. Example number 6. We have the limit of sine square theta over tangent cube theta as theta approaches pi over 4. Pi over 4 is 180 over 4 or 45 degrees. No? So let's evaluate this for your solution. Again, copy sine squared theta over tangent cube theta. Theta approaches pi over 4. Okay? And this is equal to the limit of sine squared theta over sine cube theta over cosine cube theta. Theta approaches pi over 4. So, ito ay square. Ito ay cube. May natirang isa. Then, the cosine cube will go to the numerator. So, the limit of cosine cube theta over sine theta as theta approaches pi over 4. And the next thing to do is you plug in or substitute the pi over 4 dun sa theta. Okay? So, we have here the cosine of pi over 4 cube over sine pi over 4. Okay? Kung meron kang calculator, konting pindot lang yan, may sagot ka na. But if wala kang calculator at hindi inallow ng inyong mga teachers, no, or ng proctor, for example, hindi inalawang calcu dahil yung calcu na nadala mo ay hindi pwede yung model, no? So, kailangan ma-solve mo ngayon to. Sayang din yung points. So, though yung pi over 4, cosine pi over 4, and sine pi over 4, dapat alam mo na rin to. Nasa puso mo na dapat yan, ano? Anyways, kung talagang nakalimutan mo, balik ka ngayon dito sa right triangle. Okay? Kunyari, right triangle yan. Assuming lang, no? Para maging 45 degrees ito, or pi over 4, kailangan this leg, at saka itong side na to, dapat equal sila. Okay? Say 1. So, 1 din. So, by using Pythagorean Theorem, we have a square plus b square equals c square, no? So, the hypotenuse is equal to 1 square plus 1 square, taking the square root. So, this is square root of 2. So, ito pala ay square root of 2. Now, what is cosine pi over 4 or cosine 45 degrees? Adjacent over the hypotenuse. So, ang adjacent side natin is 1, hypotenuse is square root of 2. So, multiplied by square root of 2 over square root of 2, walang nabago dyan. 1 lang din ito. Inalis lang natin yung square root sa denominator. So, that is equal to square root of 2 over 2. So, pakitandaan lang tong cosine pi over 4 is square root of 2 over 2. And how about the sine pi over 4? And that is equal to opposite. Opposite is 1. Hypotenuse is square root of 2. Parehas lang. So, parehas din ang sagot dito. Square root of 2 over 2. Pakitandaan din, kapag 45 degrees, sine and cosine, square root of 2 over 2. So, balik ngayon tayo sa problem natin. Cosine pi over 4 is square root of 2 over 2. Cube, no? Over square root of 2 over 2 equals. So, kung mapapansin nyo, square root of 2 over 2, 3 times, no? Naka-raise to 3. Yung nasa baba naman, square root of 2 over 2, naka-raise lang sa 1. So, pwede natin itong tanggalin. Ito, bawasan natin ito ng isa. So, may natirang dalawa. So, square root of 2 square is 2 over 4. 2 square is 4. Or simply, this is equal to 1/2. So, this is now your answer. Diba? Okay, so next problem or last problem, example number 7. Okay? So, evaluate, medyo simple lang. Okay, evaluate, okay, evaluate a limit of sine 2 theta over sine theta tangent theta. Theta approaches pi over 6. Yun, no? Akala ko simple lang. Yes, simple lang yan. Okay. So for your solution, so the limit of sine 2 theta over sine theta tangent theta as theta approaches pi over 6, wala pa akong ginawa, kinopya ko pa lang, is equal to, wala kayong napansin, sine 2 theta. Okay, from your trigonometry, balik tayo dito, recall. Okay, recall your double angles, no? Double angle formula. So, okay, sine 2 theta is equal to 2 sine theta cosine theta. Paano kung nakalimutan mo? So, pwede mo pa yung i-derive using sum of two angles. Okay, remember? Sine A plus B? Sin cos plus cosine. O, yan, ganun, di ba? So, dito, sine theta plus theta. O, ito yung A, ito yung B. Ngayon, parehas lang sila. So, equal to sine theta cosine theta plus cosine theta sine theta equals, parehas lang yan. Sine theta plus cosine theta. Sine theta is 2 sine theta cosine theta. Okay? Sine 2 theta is equal to this. Remember, again, no? Remember it again. How about the cosine 2 theta? Parehas lang. Ganun din gawin mo. Use your sum of two angles. So, cosine of theta plus theta. Ano nga yun? Cos minus sin. Okay? So, here we have cosine theta plus yan minus sine theta, and this is equal to square cosine square theta minus sine square theta. Okay? Now, pwede na rin yang gamitin. Pero tuloy natin, no? Recall again that the sine square theta plus cosine square theta is equal to 1. Then you will solve here for cosine square theta. Cosine square theta is equal to transpose sine square theta to the other side. 1 minus sine square theta. Okay? Then, you substitute it here. Dito. So, cosine 2 theta is equal to 1 minus sine square theta minus sine square theta. So, cosine 2 theta is equal to 1 minus sine square theta minus sine square theta minus 2 sine square theta. Remember this. Okay? How about tangent? Parehas lang. Tangent to theta is equal to tangent theta plus theta. Okay? Equals tangent theta plus tangent theta all over 1 minus tangent theta, or this is 2 tangent theta over 1 minus tangent square theta. So that is tangent to theta. So again, please remember. Okay? So balik tayo sa problem natin. Ang kailangan natin is yung sine to theta, which is 2 sine theta cosine theta. So this is equal to the limit of 2 sine theta cosine theta over sine theta. But theta is sine theta over cosine theta. Okay? Theta approaches pi over 6. So, cancelin na natin yan, no? Then, cosine tataas, so cosine square theta over sine theta. So, the limit of 2 cosine square theta over sine theta as theta approaches pi over 6. So, meron diyang constant na 2. Anong gagawin natin? ilabas daw natin. That's 2 times a function. So, labas natin yung constant. 2 times the limit of cosine squared theta over sine theta as theta approaches pi over 6. Then next is substitute natin itong pi over 6 to theta. Okay? Times cosine of pi over 6 square. Okay? Over sine pi over 6. Okay. Kung meron kang calculator, pindot lang. Okay na. May answer ka na. Ngayon, paano kung na-drain ang battery at naubos din, hindi na suminag ang araw, pati solar hindi umandar? So, kailangan natin siyang isolve. Paano isolve? Kailangan alam mo yung cosine pi over 6. Okay? Alam mo siya dati pero nakalimutan mo na, ipapaalala ko ngayon sa inyo. Balik tayo ngayon dito sa triangle. Okay? Let's say the right triangle pa rin yan. Cosine pi over 6 is cosine pi over 6 or pi over 6 is equal to 180 degrees over 6 and that is 30 degrees. 30 degrees or pi over 6. Okay? Tawagin natin itong O and this is A and this is B. Okay? Kung itong line OA is, lagyan natin to ng length, no? Tawagin natin X. Yung opposite side, tawagin naman natin X over 2. Yan. Kalahati lang para magkaroon ka ng 30 degrees. Okay? Now, ano naman itong line OB? Yan ngayon ang isosolve natin. Ano? So, by Pythagorean Theorem, again, that C square is equal to A square plus B square. So, C, ano yung C square? C square, this time is X, no? So, X square equals X over 2 is square plus yung B square is OB. Lagay natin. OB, line OB square. Transpose this to other side, we have X square minus X square over 4. X square, then 2 square, so 4 equals OB square. 1 minus 1/4. O, di 3/4 yan. X square equals OB square. Now, taking the square root of both sides, so lagay ko na lang dito is OB. Square root na natin. Square root of 3 over 4 X square. Okay? Or simply X times square root of 3 over 2. Yes? Okay, this is your OB. Ito pala, this is square root of 3 over 2. Now, going back to this, masosolve na ngayon natin yung pi over 6, na cosine pi over 6 and sine pi over 6. Okay, so 2 multiplied by, what is cosine pi over 6? Adjacent over the hypotenuse. Okay, adjacent is square root of 3x over 2. Adjacent over the hypotenuse. What is the hypotenuse? X. Okay, huwag kalimutan. I-square mo po iyan over sine pi over 6. Opposite. Okay, x over 2 over the hypotenuse x. Yan. So, masosolve na ngayon natin yung ating problem. Okay? Madali na ngayon to. So, that is 2 multiplied by, what is square root, square root of 3x o di 3x square over, what's this? 4 over x square. Oh. Pwede mo na rin yung i-simplify, no? O sige, simplify na rin natin yung mga nasa loob. Kasi pwede na siyang cancelin kasi. Okay? Para hindi na humaba ito. Erase ko lang. So, Mhm. So, hanggang dyan na lang muna. Let's erase this x. Okay? Tinuloy na natin para mas maganda. Okay? Ayan. Ayaw niyang tumigil. Okay. Asan na tayo? So, this is x over 2 over hypotenuse x. Ayan. Tuloy-tuloy yung pag-delete no? Pag-undo. Okay. So, equals. So, this is, let's cancel this. Yan. Cancelin na natin yan. Ito naman, hindi mo siya pwedeng cancelin, no? X over 2 over x. Pwede pala, no? So, cancel this. Cancel na rin to. Yan. So, anong natira? Ito bang 2 and 2? Pwede rin. So, let's see. Yes, no? Pwede. Pwede nga ba? Wait. X over 2. Pag binaliktad kasi natin, ganito mangyayari dyan. Okay, let's see. Huh? So, this is, oops, nawala tayo. So, this is square root of 3 squared and 2 over 1 half. O, ganun na lang. O, sige, 2 times square root of 3. What is square root of 3? Then square. So, 3 over 4, no? Over, ano natira dito? 1 half, no? 1 half. Ayan, para mas madaling makita. Okay? And this is now equal to, so, pwede natin siyang baliktarin. So, magka-cancel nga siya, no? So, may natira siyang, say, 2 multiplied by, sige, pakita natin. 3/4 by 2 over 1. Okay? Ito yung na-cancel. So, may natirang 2. So, equal to, since 2 yan, cancel din. Oh, ang natira pala is 3 over 1. Or, the answer is equal to 3. So, this is now your answer.